Welcome, comrade. Sebastian Michael Cruz here. And in this brief video, we're going to go through the steps that happen on the path of decoding your genius, on the journey of decoding your genius. And this is very important because even missing just one of these steps, things start to go south very quickly. So this journey of decoding your genius, it's all about flipping the script in your subconscious mind so that it starts acting more as your ally and less as your enemy. And as you do that, it makes it easier to follow your own natural success path. And as you're doing that, you start achieving your life's greatest work. And that's the whole point of this, is to help you do the purpose, do the mission that lights you up mind, body, and spirit. So let's get into it. Because people, when they come to me, typically are having an entrepreneurial midlife crisis. And they're thinking to themselves, what's the point of this? Like, is this all there really is? Is there more meaning to my life than just making more money or buying new things? Like, those things are great, don't get me wrong, but a person starts feeling like, is this all there really is? And they usually come to me in two distinct states. One is the weekend warrior, where they're battling, grinding, and they've built their business and they're holding it all together and they're fighting battles off internally and externally. And it's starting to take a toll on them. It's starting to grind them down. They're starting to get on the verge of burnout if they haven't had it already. And all of a sudden as well, the things that used to work for them are starting to work less and less. So there's this nagging feeling of like, am I losing it? Why aren't the things that I've always done, why are they not working as well? So it's a warrior who's grizzled and experienced, but is starting to be weakened and is trying to hold on to a sinking ship. Well, that's what it can feel like. Otherwise, people come to me usually in more of a bland baller state. That's what I call it. So they've made a bunch of money. They've gotten themselves a bunch of freedom, and it's the thing that they always wanted, and it's awesome. And so they've bought in a lot of things that they always wanted, gone on a bunch of trips that they always wanted, had the freedom to just hang out just like they kind of always wanted to. They have the flexibility and freedom. And now it's like, okay, is this all there really is? Like, is this just the name of the game of just like, pump up the business's numbers, buy some new stuff, go on another trip? Like, is that it? And they're starting to feel that like, there's got to be more to my life than this. There's got to be something else. And they'll start looking at other people who are just on fire with their purpose, who are just dialed into this feeling, to this mission that's inside of them. And the bland baller's looking at them being like, wow, I want that. And so they start looking around and trying to maybe get into more of the spiritual type stuff. And a lot of times that falls flat because they can feel that what the spiritual stuff is saying, there's some truth to it. But then again, it's being delivered by people who don't run businesses, who don't go through the modern challenges that we do as business owners. And it's like, yeah, okay, it's easy to feel all in one with the universe when you're just meditating all day and you're not dealing with complex problems, complex decisions, and real lives at stake. So there's a gap. And that's where this journey of decoding your genius begins. So let's hop into it. Step number one, it's absolutely crucial to decode your mind, because guess what? You've got a unique mind that's different than mine. That's different than people down the street. Yes, we have similarities, and we have incredibly wonderful differences. And so it's about what's your unique code of your mind so that you know what to focus on, when to focus on it, and how to focus on it. And as you do that, that naturally creates confidence and clarity because you know exactly what you're working with here. And you know exactly what to do to unlock deeper faculties of your hidden talents. And if a person doesn't do this, then they start burning time, going in the wrong directions, focusing on the wrong things. And naturally, that creates anxiety of like, oh man, I'm excited about this thing, but is it just going to be a bunch of waste of time? Am I going in the wrong direction? It's not a good feeling. So then once we dial that in, Then the next step is to reverse your resistance. So now that you know your unique combination of your mind, let's take a look at your unique resistance patterns, your unique limiting beliefs, and how are they holding you back in the 3 core areas of your life: business, health, relationships, wealth. How's it holding you back? And so then this whole step is about reversing, because it's a tremendous amount of energy that's in the subconscious mind. As I'm sure you heard before, Dr. Bruce Lipton has a quote that says, the subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. So there's a lot of horsepower there, and it's either pulling you back or pulling you forward. So let's not just throw that horsepower out the window. Let's use it, and let's start flipping more and more of it to pull you to your life's greatest work. And that's what this step is all about. And that's why the result of this step is unlocking natural momentum. And I've seen it with myself, and I've seen it with the many people I've shared this with, is that all of a sudden, more and more of the things that you just started feeling such resistance to, like, oh, I know I should do this, but it just feels like I'm pulling a big sled of weight at my back. It's hard to move forward. Instead of that happening, all of a sudden there's more of a natural momentum of just like, oh, okay, this feels more natural, more easy to do this. You still got to like put in the work, of course, but it feels more like the wind is at your back instead of it just a hurricane at your face. And if this doesn't happen, then a person is fighting against their subconscious mind every day. They're fighting against an enemy that is 1,000,000 times more powerful than them. That's exhausting. And that's why exhaustion is the result of this. And people can do it, especially resilient, tough people. They can do this for many years, but it just takes an incredible toll on their body. And that debt will be paid for sooner or later. No escaping it. So it's important to fix that. And the next step, number 3, is follow your fire. So now that you've decoded your unique combination of your mind, you're starting to reverse the resistance that was holding you back into the energy that's pulling you forward. And now it's like, okay, start using your unique GPS. What's that? Every person's subconscious mind has a unique GPS component of it. Just like a GPS guides a car where to go, so do we have an aspect of our subconscious mind that's actually in every moment sending us the signal, that's guiding us to our life's greatest work. And just like building a muscle, we need to build that muscle of learning how to listen to the GPS in our subconscious mind and follow it. So this step is all about using your own internal navigational system that's already primed to help you in every decision, big and small. In every decision, it's already primed to guide you along your natural success path and achieve your life's greatest work. We can go why into the specifics, the mechanics, and the science of why that is. But for right now, we're just going to go through these steps. And naturally, this unlocks passion because you're excited. You're doing the thing that lights you up. And common sense, we know that's magnetic. When someone's genuinely excited about something, genuinely passionate about it, even if you aren't interested in what they are, there's still a magnetism to that vitality, that life force energy exuding from them. And what do you think? You think it's going to be harder to do business when a person's non-magnetic, or easier to do business when a person's magnetic and charged up with their passion? Pretty easy answer there. And that's why this is so important, because without following your fire, you start losing the motivation, losing the mojo. Like, oh, I'm dreading doing these things. I'm dreading getting up. I'm dreading going to work, dreading having these conversations. All these things start to stack on. They're subtle at first, and a person can just brute force their way through it. Oh, I don't want to do this. Okay, coffee, energy drink, whatever, even other substances, nootropics, optimize. But it's all hiding that they're not even going in the right direction. So it's like, yeah, you can optimize yourself, but if you're going 100 miles in the wrong direction, I don't know if that's truly the best way to optimize. And as a person loses their fire and their mojo, then if that continues, they start becoming invisible in a sense because their energy is flat. Yeah, people hear the words you say. It might sound impressive, but there's no charged energy there. There's nothing there. And also a person starts feeling invisible in this step where they're like, God, the world is only seeing a fraction of my true power and potential. Have you ever felt like that? That's this stage. Feeling like, yes, people, they're like, people recognize the good things that you've done, the expertise you have, yes, but deep inside that when you go to bed at night, you're like, God, your business isn't a full expression of all that you're capable to do. And that's why this step is important to conquer. And step 4, once that happens, decode your mind, start reversing your resistance. You get natural momentum moving forward. You're starting to follow your fire, your unique GPS system. Like I advise people, I consult people, I give people strategies and tactics. And yes, I do that. And the core of how I guide people is helping you connect to your internal higher intelligence. So next, it's flowing in your zone. So as you're starting to do that more and more, then it's like, okay, let's build your life and business around your zone of genius, your unique talents. And what happens, the result of that is that this step unlocks speed and ease. Common sense. So if you're doing the thing that you're best at, that you're most passionate about, and that is incredible value, what do we think's going to happen? Speed and ease. Speed and ease. And this is important because if a person isn't flowing in their zone, then what happens? Their business starts slowing down. Growth starts stagnating. Pretty simple, because a person is not using their unique genius. It's like a superhero fighting a villain 1,000,000 times more powerful than that superhero. And the superhero says, well, you know what? This round, I'm just going to not use my superpowers. I'm just going to not use my flight ability. I'm just going to not use my super strength. I'm just going to, just use my regular self. That's what we're doing if we're not flowing in our zone. Guess what? Does every person have an inner genius? Yes, you're goddamn right. Every person has a unique, special, hidden talent in theirs that combines their passion, their purpose, and ultimately, with the right business skills, also profit as well. And that's why it's so important, because if a person keeps not being in their genius, then they're frustrated. They're frustrated that they have to do the things that they hate to do. They're frustrated that they feel like they have more value to give than what's being exhibited. And that leads to step number 5, which is claim your cause. And claim is a very important word here, because this isn't going to the ice cream stand and selecting the flavor you'd like on your ice cream cone. This is claiming your cause. Claim. What does that really mean? That means seeing the mountain and saying, okay, that's the challenge that I want. Climbing up the mountain through the challenges and then putting your flag on top of the mountain, claiming it for all to see that that's yours and that's your cause. And naturally, as you might imagine, it's so intertwined with your purpose. And this is what people want. People want to know their cause. People will watch Netflix for hours on end in search of the feeling of their cause. And nothing wrong with Netflix. I love Netflix just as much as the next person. And what culturally happens is that people aren't connected to their cause. So they watch movies, they watch stories of people that are so connected to their cause that it's a heroic journey. And that's what the masses are in right now, is that not connected to it. So it's like, okay, well, let's vicariously live. There's somebody else, real or not, that does. And the travesty is that everybody has a cause. Everybody has a unique cause that lights them up. And guess what? We need everyone to have different causes, because whether it's animals, trees, plants, education, technology, ocean, there are so many different causes that make the world better. And you are most likely going to have a different cause that lights you up than another person. There's going to be different similarities, of course. And that's why this genius movement is so important, because we're not just being a clone of one person. It's doubling down on the unique factor of the human spirit. And as each person maximizes their cause, their talents, their hidden genius, then we start kicking a lot of ass in the world in a positive way. We start solving a lot of problems because everyone's doing what they're uniquely wired to do, and they're doing the cause that is near and dear to their heart. And collectively, that's what creates the modern Renaissance. The classical Renaissance was an explosion of human creativity that advanced humanity forward. And I believe, fervently, that now is time for round two, the modern Renaissance. And as we all continue to decode our genius and implement it, the result of it is that you unlock power and purpose. And we know from every person who created history, there was a purpose greater than themselves. And if this isn't dialed in, then a person has really no purpose, no real meaning, no real reason for living, just beyond, just make some more money, go on some more trips, feel better oneself. That's it. And naturally, this creates a person that's weaker and more empty than they could be. They're a more weaker, empty version of themselves. And it sounds harsh to say, but it's just true. You know, who's going to win? Somebody who believes in a cause with every fiber of their being, they're literally willing to die for it, or somebody who's just doing it to go on another trip. And as that happens, the sixth step is expand your empire. So now the business strategy comes in, because it's about doing your unique business model in the right way for your right type. And that's why these business strategies just like fired everything now, because it's custom coded for you. And this creates supreme stability, because what happens is that a person is in their natural success path. They're in their lane that their mind, body, and spirit is united for and built for. So even if there is challenges, which there will be, even if there is mistakes, which there will be, we're human, they're still in the right lane, building over and over and over again, as opposed to being in what many entrepreneurs are caught into, which is the building and burning cycle, going in different lanes, different projects, all these different things that are scattered. Success today, gone tomorrow. And that creates a quiet fear that they have, which is like, okay, well, I got success now, but like there's just it's almost this fear of just waiting for the rug to be pulled away, waiting for someday to all come crashing down. And that's because there's this inner knowing that their subconscious is not doing their life's greatest work. So as you expand your empire in your lane and you're stacking gains in your lane, it just makes sense that decades of stacking gains in a singular lane is gonna win. So if a person is caught in the red step of this, it's very simple. So it's like, would you want to keep doing your business for the next 10 years? Or another question is, if you had all the money in the world, would you still be doing your business? Now, granted, if you had all the money in the world, I'm sure you'd hire more people. You might have different systems. Yes, all that is true. And if you're on the path of your life's greatest work, you'd still be doing it regardless of the amount of money. That's how you know when you're achieving your life's greatest work, where you're on the path, moving forward on it. And as these steps come together, then a person becomes the historic hero. And as I've started to continue to research this, cross-referencing it with historic heroes in history. And it's because they're all doing their life's greatest work. They're doing and following their inner guidance to achieve the thing that mind, body, and spirit is all united for. And it just coincidentally happens to also be your natural success path. Go figure. Your natural success path is you achieving your life's greatest work. Passion, purpose, profit, all intertwining together. And if that doesn't happen, and a person keeps missing these steps, then it devolves into the failure. Sounds harsh, but something to think about is when a person's on their dying bed and they're taking their last breaths of life, you're going to know. You're going to know. Did you achieve all that you felt you could in relation to your life's greatest work? Or was there still some left in the tank? And this, of course, goes beyond, having more houses, having more yachts, having more whatever. It goes beyond that, of course. It's that inner knowing that, yeah, maybe everybody else is like, hey, you did a lot. You're good. But that inner knowing of, I could have done more. I knew I was built for more. And I'm not here to tell you if that's a failure or not. I'll just tell you for myself, that's a failure for me. This is a failure for me. If I feel like I didn't accomplish the mission that I felt in my heart and spirit that I was here to do for myself, for my family, for my community, for humanity. And ultimately, that path creates unbearable regret, because in that last moment where the last breath is coming out, and you know inside that I didn't quite achieve my life's greatest work here, and there's no going back now. There's no do-overs, and that's the thing. Yes, people believe in reincarnation and multiple lives, and I'm not here to tell you which way or the other. Here's the thing. Even if that's the case, still, it's not the same personality that's incarnating. It's a different personality. The same spirit is incarnating, but a different personality. So that was the one shot for this personality in this incarnation to do the mission. And time's up. Time's up. So that's what creates unbearable regret. And this is ultimately the path of wasting your genius and wasting your life. Yes, you can help people. Yes, you can, enjoy things. And, yes, you can have a positive impact. Yes. And if you're not fully decoding your genius and doing what you know in your heart and spirit that you are here to do, then yeah, you are wasting your potential. You are wasting the future people that you could have helped. You are wasting the future people that you could have inspired, helped, and empowered. I'm not here to pat you on the back and say, oh, it was, you did your best. No. And I'm not here to say that because I've done so many sessions with so many people from so many different walks of life where I've seen their genius map firsthand. I've talked to them one-on-one. And I have seen how every single person has such a beautiful combination of hidden talents and how their path is right there. And sometimes we have to dig for it, but it's always there. And that is why I have an unshakable belief in every person who's on this planet, not to mention every person who's watching this, because every person on this planet has the ability to contribute in their own unique way which is such a beautiful way, in a powerful way, a very powerful way. Every person has that. Now, the majority of people are asleep to that. That's why, as humanity, as a species, if we're going to advance forward, we got to start waking up to the power that you have within inside of you. And you don't have to be a clone of somebody else. It's your unique blueprint within inside of you, your unique path. And that's what I'm here to help you, guide you upon this heroic journey, your heroic journey of creating history in your own way and contributing in such a powerful way that your impact stands the test of time. And that's something I share with people. I don't care. I don't give a shit if anybody remembers me 100 years from now. I don't care if anybody remembers me 500 years from now. It doesn't matter. What my core drive here is to create an impact that continues through humanity, that impact continues affecting lives further down the line, a long way down the line. Because if we have a mission here, if we're here to help the world, why not go fucking big? Why not go all the way? And that's what we can do. And it's a lot for one person. It's too much for one person. So that's why we need each other. That's why we need a community. And that's why this genius community is coming together so that we can band together and create the impact in our own unique ways that's going to drive humanity forward like we've never seen before. I'll speak soon. Sebastian Michael Cruz. And remember, money without meaning is hollow. Profit with purpose is king. And achieving your life's greatest work is the new currency of success.